Oh my God! Did you try it the right way at all?
Yeah, the right way doesn't work.
At all? Okay.
Welcome to build video number 5 of the Carbon Cub. So we're almost there. Last video we left off with the taxi test. Everything's looking good. We're skipping the windows.
For now.
For now. Obviously we're gonna put them in before we fly, but for now we're skipping them. We're gonna go right to the jury struts. We're gonna do one wing at a time. We've dug out all the stuff that you're gonna need. There's 2 baggies. We've already opened up one of the bags of the jury struts here. So you can see it just comes in a bag. This was already another bag. And then you have a couple of the hardware pieces from way in the beginning of the build. A lot of this stuff is just in, all this stuff's in one giant bag. So I've been having it sit here for the whole build. Anyway, let's start putting these on. First step in the directions, you gotta put these brackets on. So let's get a couple, let's see, we need 4 of the M3 by 12s. Some Loctite. Like I said, I did check all the blind nuts, there we go. Just start it. Yep, they're both going in nice. Give these a quick snug up. Looks good. Same thing, we're gonna put the next bracket on. There we go, back to business. Let's get the 4th one here and then we'll give that one a snug up. And you can see how these are angled in. They're pointing in, because remember the V, they're gonna create like a V and then they hook to right here, because that's...
Oh, to one point.
Yep,
Yep,
so
that's the little guy.
That we installed when we did the landing gear.
Cool.
All right, those are on. Next, these silver ones go in there. It says basically make it flush to the wing. There's a little shoulder. They call it a lip. I'm assuming they mean where the threads end. I don't know why they didn't say just where the threads end.
Yeah.
They call it a lip. I'm calling it a shoulder. Make that level with the wing. All right, next step of the directions, we're gonna thread these little, the gray ones are gonna go on the ends here.
The connectors?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna check to make sure that there's no burrs in them. It says to thread these on until and leave about a 3mm gap. They say this is just a starting point because you're gonna have to adjust it at the end anyway.
Okay.
So we're gonna...
Yeah, it goes in as far as it can.
Yeah. Let's put another one on the other end.
On that side.
The other one. Next step, they want us to take these little clamp thingies, and if you look close, you will see these are shaped like an airfoil. Also, make sure you slide it on
the correct way.
The correct way. I'm keeping these laid down in the position where the airfoil is facing forward. Okay, right. Now we are gonna attach these to right here with a M3 by 12.
Okay.
And one of these poly nuts. So we're actually using the lock nut. Okay. Same thing for this guy. We're gonna put these guys on. So,
okay.
Same thing, we got some M3 by 12, the poly nuts.
Make sure the leading edge is facing forward.
Yep,
on that
so
one.
You can see the airfoil part is facing forward. Good call, Mary. Again, airfoil direction in the right orientation. Next step is clamps that we put on earlier. We're gonna get those into position. These come up, so that's gonna go like there. We're gonna just attach one side at a time.
Oh, it's outside of that strut. Okay.
And then
or outside of that bracket.
I think they've got
Okay.
Yeah, they got it outside. And this, I believe, goes on the inside. All right, so we got it loosely on there. Obviously, it's really loose. I haven't started tightening it yet.
Yeah.
But you can see there's the orientation. So you got this clamp in the middle, the spreader bar on the outside, and that's basically it. Let's just start tightening this up here. So we're looking good.
Woo, look at that.
So you can see.
Kind of meets in the middle.
Yeah,
or
so
meets.
This is looking pretty good. So you can kind of see how this is going to meet up to that tab up that's on the plane. Getting an idea here, that looks pretty good. We've got this set pretty good. We're gonna put it on the plane. This is that side. Okay, so we just got the wing on. You can see it's on nice. You can see they don't quite reach. So we're gonna thread these out a little. So what's happening here, we have to make some adjustments. You can see how far away these are. Can you see that, Mary? So we would have to unscrew these rods. We have to lengthen them so much to get this pin in.
Yeah.
That I'm afraid we're at the very end of these threads. You can see it's kind of wobbly, but you gotta undo it quite a bit. So we're gonna undo the M3 and the lock nut here, unthread it a little here, and unthread it on both ends basically. So we're gonna split the difference.
Yeah, that looks about equal
It
with
looks
each
about
side.
equal, yeah. So they want you to use a piece of fuel tubing.
Where?
Fuel tubing is going to act like a kind of like a lock washer. So I'm going to cut a little piece here, but basically it's going to keep tension on the cotter pin. And I think what they're doing is they're putting it on the bottom. All right, so we got one. Here's my interpretation of it. So what we did was we put a little fuel tubing slice, you can't really see it because it's clear, on the pin on the bottom. And what it does is it pulls the pin down as you install it. So let's do another little slice here, basically making like a little washer.
What'd you do? Maybe like...
It's like a, I don't know, millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters. Here's the pin that they supply with the tubing. Let's try to push him up in there. It should fit.
You might need one more turn.
Yeah?
Or half a turn.
Alright, so each pin apparently has burrs around the cotter pin hole. So just prep each pin also. We got it in there so you can see what happens, the fuel tubing. See how when you push it up, the hole becomes visible and then it pulls back down. So this is what they want. So you get the push it up, you gotta push pretty hard, but then you get the cotter pin in and then it pulls it down. So it kind of locks it into position. So let's get a wing bolt from way earlier in the build. We're gonna come up with a better solution for this. A lot of people use like, there's some thumb screws you can use. Lines up nice before we tighten up the jury struts. Seems to be threading in perfect. All right, so we have some contradicting information once again here in the manual. It shows in the manual to put the spreader bar on the outside like this, like we kind of told you. But if you read carefully, it actually says put the spreader bar inside the jury strut. It's just weird that the picture shows it one way and then they tell you to do it another way. All right, so we got the spreader bar switched to the middle. Let's tighten all this up. Okay, those are tight.
I think it looks great.
Yeah, it looks great. I think it's all good. Everything's straight, everything's tight. So there's this side of the wing complete. We already test fitted it. It looks great. We're gonna move on to the second one, do the jury struts for this wing. So we're just gonna speed up through this, but yeah, same process. So set this aside. We got all the jury struts done. We got the wings on. They're just, you know, we put them on just to test fit, make sure everything's lining up pretty good. And I think it is. Everything seems pretty good. So the jury struts are kind of a pain. It's a lot of just test fitting and you might have to lengthen the rod a little or shorten the rod a little.
I think it looks really good. Yeah, the wings look straight, pretty stable.
Yeah. All right, so we got the wings off. They're set aside in a safe spot. We're gonna start working on the windows now. The manual has you doing the windows at an earlier stage. We skipped that because we just didn't have the screws yet that we wanted to put for the main windscreen. So we're gonna screw the main windscreen down and glue in all the side windows. If you glue in the main windscreen, you're gonna lose the access if you need to get in there in the future. So you can see, I mean, you got a lot of access here. So if that's glued on, you can't do that anymore. So anyway, we're gonna screw it on.
We ended up getting what, M2s?
I don't even know what these are.
Number 2s.
They're number 2s, but they're 1/4" pan head. You'd be surprised how hard they are to find.
I know, the tiny
stuff,
little ones.
These tiny little things locally. All that this store had was stainless steel. So these are stainless steel. But anyway, getting a little crazy there with the screws. Let's start gluing in these side windows here. The manual has you trimming the edges. They want you to leave about a 1/16 of an inch. I'm gonna bump it up to about 1/8 of an inch. It looks like I have about 1/8 of an inch available to play with. I'd rather have 1/8 of an inch than a 1/16 of an inch. So we're just gonna start cutting these out. Let's see how she fits. There we go.
Oh, wow, that fit perfect, huh?
First try. I cut it the same, so it should be about the same.
Yeah, it sits pretty good.
Yeah. This guy, same thing. I might be able to just leave most of it on there. It fits pretty good everywhere except this bottom edge. So I'm gonna cut off this bottom edge. So all I did with this one to start is cut that bottom line off. Let's see how she fits. Yeah, it's tight, but it's not. It's actually the mold isn't fitting in the balsa frame they made.
Okay.
See how it's wanting to spring out? We can heat it up and force it in there. The corner is very rounded, so they didn't do a very sharp corner, so it's not fitting in here very good. So I'm gonna try to heat it up. It fits in here really good over here. It's just this corner right here. I'm gonna try to heat it up with my little heat gun and soften it a little, and then just
try to mold it
shove it in there.
Shove it in there.
And then hopefully it'll make it a new home. See if I can burn myself.
Just don't melt the plastic.
Do this at your own risk, because it's very easy to melt the plastic. So I'm gonna go kind of slow.
Just try to push it in.
Yeah, and you should be able to feel, because these little things are for shrink tube. It gets hot pretty quick, so you should be able to feel it getting soft. Keep it moving to heat the whole general area.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, yeah, you can see it. Like Mary, like she saw it get soft all of a sudden, and that's how quick it happens.
It didn't destroy too much.
No, I think we actually got it. So now,
yeah, it fits in there, right? It looks like it.
Yeah, I'm just letting it cool down a little before if we need to apply any more heat. There we go. You can see we made that edge a little sharper.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
It's hard to see it's clear plastic on the camera. It fits a lot better, that's for sure. We can do a little more even, but go slow when you do this, you guys. Well, it's looking good because remember this is the side you see.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
it doesn't really matter too much what this side looks like, but you can see how fast all of a sudden it softened up. So you gotta be ready to pull that heat away. There we go.
Is it flattening as you push it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to kind of just shape a spot for the glue to sit.
Oh. Oof. Yeah, it starts to buckle a little.
Yeah, you gotta be you gotta do a little bit. If you do too much heat, you will ruin it. That's a fact. I might call it good here because it was really just this one corner that was giving me trouble, and I kind of heated up right here. So you can see how it's a little wavier than normal, but it fits in there now.
Yeah.
But look at this side.
It's flush and perfect. Yeah.
So this is the side that matters.
Yeah, it looks good. Cool. Good job.
So we test fit this one. It's very close. Similar situation. We just need to cut a little bit off the bottom only, and that's it. And that's what the directions say to do. Oh, it's a beaut.
Oh, that fits good.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
Got our canopy glue. All our windows are fitting the way we like them. Or gonna start gluing these in. I got some tape strips ready, so as I hold it in, I can tape it. I don't know if that's too much, too little. Let's see. Okay. So I'm pushing from the inside. Let's add some tape. We'll see how that does.
Looking good?
Yeah.
That was pretty easy. Good amount of glue in there.
Yeah. I think you gotta use more than you think. Yeah, you can see where it's smushed the glue in, so that's obviously good.
Yeah.
Couple spots where it's touching, but I think I needed a little more. So if I have to do that first one again, then I will. So the door, so this is the one we had to heat up. Shape the corner a little more with that heat gun. But I think it's gonna look good. I think it's gonna be.
I think it looks great right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the overall effect is gonna be fine when it dries. And it does take 24 hours, so we won't be able to look at this till tomorrow. But to you guys, it'll seem like a quick cut. All right, we're back out here the next day. Looks like all the glue is dry. Let's start peeling off this tape. I think it's gonna be good. So I remember we used the low tack, the blue tape. You can see there's a little bit of white stuff in there, but for the most part it's dry. So it's plenty dry enough to take all the tape off. Let's see how it looks. Remember, this is the one that we had to shape with the heat gun. Okay. Looks good. It's definitely in there.
Oh,
sounds nice. Like
looking nice.
It's not rattly.
Yeah. You can feel it doesn't pop or anything.
Yeah, I think that came out really good. Considering we had to, kind of heat it up. And all right, let's pull some more tape off. See how these guys look. Looks pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, it's strong. It's in there. Yep. I like it a lot.
So next step. The main windscreen. I'm sure you've heard me say multiple times we're gonna screw this on. We got our screws ready to go. And I just painted the heads black, flat black, and then put a coat of matte clear coat on. So we're gonna have to get this all taped up in the position we want it, and then we're just gonna start, drilling little pilot holes. Let's start fitting this on, and basically we're just gonna put down some blue tape strips ready to go. And then once we get it where we want it, we're just gonna start drilling little holes and putting the screws in. Just work our way around. That looks centered there. Okay, so we got 2 tape pieces there. I think it's sitting pretty good. So you can see there's plenty of, overlap everywhere. Because remember, we're doing the screws, so there's up here, there's not much you can do. You just kind of got to eyeball it. But we got the small screws, so I think there's gonna be plenty.
Okay.
Plenty of space to put a little screw. All right, so we have located our tiny drill bit. I don't know what size it is. It's just from this really small mini drill bit kit from Harbor Freight. But I'll start with one here in the middle, and then I'll just kind of fill in as I go, like keep dividing each section in half maybe. Let's try that. See what happens. Ready, guys?
Oh, that was super easy.
Yeah, it just goes through like it's just a little layer of balsa. Oh yeah.
That
Pretty cool.
looks beautiful.
I think this is gonna look good.
Yeah.
The process is we're just gonna keep filling in the gaps and
Yeah.
well, everybody, there it is. I think we're happy with the amount of screws and the spacing. We did a couple extra just here on the sides to hold the side in, just on the door frame. You know, if we notice it lifting when we're flying and we notice some screws popping out, add some more in between each gap. But I don't think it's gonna. And I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, I like the look of it.
It's just got a cool black, the black and yellow look going. She's cool. We are gonna address the lights now. There is no section in the manual that tells you anything about the lights. They just leave it for you to figure out. So they give you a little supplied AA pack. It's meant to just use 2 AA's, so it's a 3-volt system. We're doing a little test here, and they do work. One thing though, I don't know how many of you guys are on RC groups, but they think the lights are burned out right away. They are not. It's just the way they wired up the LEDs. So check this out. So we've got the 2 wings connected here. I just twisted them together. So you can clearly see this is the red wire, right? And this is the black. You gotta take the red wire from the battery and put it on the black wires. And now we have the black coming off the battery, and here's the red coming off the lights. There we go.
And the lights work.
So yep, they're not bad. So
yeah,
so right. So that's just the 2 AA's. So they're not bad at all. I'm gonna go with them. But here you go. You gotta wire them up backwards. Kind of interesting.
And we're putting bullet connectors, right?
Yeah. So because these wings have to come off, obviously, you know, every time you fly. The hole that they give you to slide these wires through on the fuselage, it's a pretty small hole. I was gonna use XT30s, which would have been super simple and super quick and awesome to just unplug and, but the XT30s won't slip through the holes on the fuselage, and I don't want to drill out the hole on the fuselage to fit the XT30s. So what I'm gonna use, 2.5 millimeter bullet connectors. These little thin bullet connectors will easily fit through the hole on the fuselage.
And we have a Y connector too.
Yeah, and so then you got to build up a Y connector here. Yeah, they, like I said, there's no section in the manual for lights. You just kind of got to figure it out on your own, and we got to hook them up, right? It's part of the plane. So, but yeah, let's get soldering. All right, here's our solution. So you saw us do the little test, and we confirmed the lights are backwards. Remember, black has to go to the red, red has to go to the black. So Mary, look at everything she soldered up. This is our solution. So we have these little 2.5 millimeter bullets. These are gonna slip through the hole in the fuselage when you put the wings on. Very tiny. This is our solution. We're trying not to modify the plane
too much on the inside.
Yeah, we don't want to drill the holes and make them big. And then you have to make a Y harness on the battery holder. So we've had some black and red wire. You just solder 2 reds to the single red, 2 blacks to the single black. And this is pretty important though, if you're gonna do the bullet connector thing like we did. So once you put these batteries in, you have electricity. You know, it's only 3 volts, but it's still a live wire. So you have to use the female connectors on the battery side, okay? Because you don't want...
And then cover it up with the shrink
because you don't want the male ends on the battery side, because then they'll potentially touch. Yeah, and you have to use the string tube. Let's see what we got. I am gonna hook a switch in line here somewhere. We don't have a mini switch right now, so...
Now remember, backwards.
Yeah, so here's the black. So we want one of these blacks on a red.
Yep. The other black.
One of these.
Oh, and the red.
The red on.
Oh, there we go.
So
wow.
one light is working.
Yep.
And then we're gonna do the same thing here. So I know it gets a little confusing the way they ran this at the factory. So here's another black going to the red.
Yep.
And then the other red goes to the black on the battery pack. There we go.
That doesn't look bad at all.
No. So that's 3 volts, just the 2 AA batteries. So it's not bad.
Oh.
I mean, it could be a lot better, but that's not bad at all, guys. So that is our solution.
It looks nice. It doesn't look too clunky or anything.
The stock lighting. Yeah, so then we'll find a place to put this inside the airplane. I think it came out really good. Mary, you did a really good job soldering.
Yeah, I'm professional.
I know a lot of people have been asking them what we're gonna do with the lights, and that's what we're gonna do. Just a very simple setup with the stock lights. So if you got any questions, like always, just ask us. All right, so we're gonna Velcro the seats in, nothing too, you know, fancy here. Velcro to the floor. That one goes in the back. This one goes about right here. The reason you want Velcro is just so you can take them in and out, you know, to work on the plane. And you have to take the front one out to get the battery in. So this one has to be on Velcro. Well, there we go. There's that. We're gonna Velcro our battery pack in. It's kind of ugly having just two AA's sitting there. So when the door's closed,
you can't see anything.
Because this is close to the CG.
Oh,
I don't want it all the way in the back because
it's too much.
You know, I don't want it in the front because then the battery is there. Just a little strip of Velcro there. Then we can change the batteries out real easy. I'll put it kind of right behind the seat. So right on the floor, behind the seat. There we go. A lot of people leave the top door not glued in, so you can, you know, take it out.
Magnet's really strong.
Yeah.
It keeps everything in place.
And it's got this bottom tab.
Yeah.
I think I am, however, gonna glue the bottom door hinge in, and you can see the bottom door is not in your way ever.
Yeah.
So that's not an issue. This I'm gonna leave just so you can always.
Done. Okay.
Yeah. If that comes open in flight, I don't know what's going on because you really have to pull.
Then you're flying like a maniac.
You really have to pull hard.
Yeah.
So we're gonna work on the spinner. The wooden prop we're using, the Zor props, they don't fit in the channel here enough.
Just a little too big.
Yeah, it's a little too big. So we gotta open that up a little and fit this on there. This will be the first time we've actually gotten the spinner on. All right, we got the cowl on. She's starting to look like an airplane. I don't know if you guys remember when we fit the cowl up the first time, it was definitely off. Our measurements were off, so we went back and we fixed it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll see that it does look really good now.
And it did sit far enough back where it was smacking the rivet or the screw. I'm sorry.
So yeah, as we were putting the cowl on, we noticed that our little black screw was too far forward. I actually made a new hole for a new black screw.
Farther back.
And the old hole is covered.
Yeah.
It's under there, so you can't see it. But got our nice black cowl bolts with rubber or neoprene washers. So we've been kind of mocking it up with the wooden one, which is a very cool propeller, but we're gonna get out the special one. Look at that. Oh, she's a beaut. Same exact propeller, 16 by 10, beechwood. It's just black, and you can see it looks like they've actually balanced it for you. See that plug?
Oh, okay.
So they drilled it out and then they put some like polymer in there or something. Yeah, perfectly balanced.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Can expect nothing less from Zor. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but these are very nice propellers. Perfectly balanced. Literally perfect again. These are amazing. So now that the cowl's on, you gotta reach through the vents here and hold the motor.
That is sharp.
But we're gonna try to fit this on now. And you can see it's just a little spinner needs to just
a little bit.
We gotta cut out a little bit there. It's very close. So yeah, we're gonna get the Dremel out, and I'm just gonna slowly follow the groove around. Okay, third adjustment. This should be it. There. And
oh, I think that looks really good.
Yep, there, perfect. So that fits good. So this is the spinner that comes with the airplane. Some people use an aftermarket, they get an aluminum one, but I'm just using what came with the plane. So if you are using the Zor props, you're gonna have to trim it a little, it just won't fit. So here's the final cuts. It's pretty good. So you're able to make this work. Just take your time, mark out where you want it, clean it up with a file, and I took some just rubbing alcohol and got rid of the rest of my Sharpie marks. It's kind of the final step. Yeah, it snaps right into the groove of the spinner back plate. You do gotta line the holes up, actually, that would help. So I already lined it up, double checked it, but you gotta, okay.
Woohoo. Finally.
Cowl on the spinner. Nice and straight.
Yep.
So we fixed that. It was driving us nuts before. Really all that is left now is the final ultra coat shrinking. So I know a lot of people have been waiting for this moment because I get a lot of comments about it, how the planes look like, you know, they don't look that good when you pull them out of the box, and that's normal. So we're gonna shrink it up and it's all gonna start looking nice. You can see where we've done some of it because we wanted we didn't want to get too hot around the windows, so we did it before we put the windows on, but you can see it gets perfect.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do the whole plane now. We're gonna seal up the edges first with the hard points, and then we're gonna go through and shrink the big areas.
Okay. And then what's the reasoning for using the...
So you want to just
first?
seal up the edges so when you shrink it, it doesn't pull it off the edges because it might roll it off the edges too much. So you want to make sure it stays on the actual hard points. Like right here, for instance. Like let's say this was really loose right here and you didn't seal up the edge and you just take the heat gun to it, it might start shrinking it so much that it pulls it off the edge.
Yeah.
And you'll have balsa exposed.
Because the iron re-adheres, like there's the glue back there, right?
Yeah, so what you would do, mine on my plane, this is sealed.
Yeah.
But what you do is you would seal this edge. So this is on right now,
Yeah.
so we're sealing it just to kind of show you. We'll shrink that, get rid of that little bubble, work it. You're just activating the glue. So I've got the glue all set there. So now when I come through with the heat gun, it's not gonna pull it off the edge. Yeah, she's gonna look like $1 million bucks. But we're almost done. It's finally getting there.
Yeah, we're gonna seal it, gun it. Oh, the end numbers?
Then we gotta put the end numbers on after it's all sealed up. Let's get going. All right, me and Mary have settled it. We're going with 545 Charlie Charlie. It just blows off your tongue better, I think. 545 Charlie Charlie.
Charlie Charlie.
Rather than 398 Charlie Charlie. 545 Charlie Charlie. Got a little Windex. We're just gonna, this aids in, you can kind of squeegee out the air bubbles and you can also slide it around a little bit. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, because this is a big decal. This is one of those things where you get it, you mess it up once and goes about a ½ an inch above the bottom. Well, maybe it won't slide around.
You're committed.
That is a sticky sticker. So, yeah, I recommend getting it where you want it right off the bat. And then any remaining air bubbles or any moisture, you know, it'll just evaporate out of there over time. But this is a excellent way to put on these big decals. And it does say to do that in the manual too, guys. So this isn't like a special trick that I have. It says,
spray it with Windex.
Yeah.
Put the sticker on, and then
you get it nice and wet with Windex, because Windex is high in alcohol, so it evaporates, which is what. But there we go. That looks awesome.
All right, let's do the other side.
Do the other side. It looks good. What do you think, Mary?
Really nice.
This thing.
We're almost there to the Maiden.
Beautiful. Well, here we go. Here it is. It's all done. Finally. It's been a fun journey. This thing came out awesome. We just finished up all the shrink covering. We put the end numbers on. Everything's ready to go. We've just put the wings on. We don't have the clips in or anything, but we just wanted to show you the finished product here. This thing is so cool. What do you think, Mary? It's just
it's
huge.
massive.
Yeah.
Well, it's bigger than what we normally make.
Yeah, so 90-inch wingspan,
Yeah,
giant
oh, we
scale.
screwed in the light.
Oh yeah, we screwed in the little light covers instead of glued them on. I thought it looked kind of cool. Thought it went with our screwed in main windscreen. So I think those look pretty cool. Yeah, give a couple shots around the plane, Mary. It looks amazing out in the sun. You can see the shrink covering. It came out really good. You can see the wires are just kind of a mess in there.
Yeah, we haven't figured out what to do.
Yeah, wire management will be a whole nother day.
We just want to fly it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get it flying, and then we can figure out how to pretty up the inside of the cockpit. But yeah, this thing massive. You can't. We're done building.
Yeah, we're taking it to a dry lake bed next.
Yeah, we're gonna be going up to the dry lake bed, and we're gonna be doing the Maiden up there in the dry lake bed. Set up a windsock and hope for the best. It's a big open area. I don't know what else to say. All right, well, thanks for watching. Next time, Maiden.